Hey guys, welcome to another Battleblood commentary. Alright, so as you can already see, this is going to be a long game. The actual time of this is about 3 hours, but I've sped it up to about twice its time, so we can try to speed through this and basically see. I'll basically I'll basically spoil it for you already. This is a match where we've actually lost, but let's dig deep here and see what happened exactly. Um, so we're actually up against some familiar faces here, and it seems like one of the players here was actually has actually fought us before. So all of these guys, if about three or out of four of these guys are very familiar with the way we've played. We've been on YouTube for quite some time around this date, but still, we were seeing what they're doing right now. It's not too impressive. So we're already sensing, okay, well, it's a blade stacking team again. So let's just do what we do. If they're going to throw out their pips like that just to put up blades and whatnot, let's go ahead and suppress them as best as possible. Um, so you're going to see a lot of back and forth plays right here, but I know towards the end there was some kind of momentum that the other players were holding. In fact, I think it was the aspect of blade stacking itself that got us in the end, especially. Um, and you'll see what I mean, because this game is pretty memorable. And I know this first player, Sydney Spellcaster, gets a lot of sprightlies in this game, from what I remember. Um, but anyways, so playing from second, now there's with the potential of 3 ice players and a life player, I believe, that has a myth amulet. We've got to be very careful in this aspect, or in the sense, because if you pay attention to what amulets the other side has, we have to basically juggle between the way we play. So first player doesn't look like she has an amulet. Second player does have a life amulet, and that's it. But if they're already placing up blades, and that was kind of a good move of Cassandra's part there, ripping those blades down as soon as possible. And we don't want Tasha to stun us just right away. We want these ice players to hit us without blades, making sure they throw out attack cards and force themselves to reshuffle faster. So now we're playing a defensive front. Cassandra's going to build up her pips by playing that conviction there and making sure that she doesn't get surprised. Even here comes a treasure balance blade card. So how many blades do they have in their hands with 3 ices? I mean, it's going to hurt a lot if we aren't careful. So again, that's what I mean by there being a lot of back and forth, and it's just that we do try to thwart their attempts to try to hit us with massive blades, but at some point they've been able to blade faster than we can take them down, and or hit us before we can really toss out any plans. So this disadvantage of going second definitely hurts us against the triple ice life team. Anyways, Fallon's got to be careful against any potential storm dispels, but they do have the smoke screen up, so we're kind of relying on that in a way to ensure that she doesn't get spelled as easily, and looks like they're trying to place even more blades. So now we need to start going for the life player, and here comes the critical here. So let's see if it actually gets those players that are wearing the arena gear. That one has a conviction. This one's wearing arena gear, but no conviction, so she is going to get criticaled. And all of them, except the second player, become stunned. Let's see. Now we've suppressed her heal, and we've protected Cassandra a little bit more. So now if we do some kind of combo hit, we could probably take out Tasha, but Jessica may have a satyr for her to protect her, or some shields of some sort. So anyways, Ronan's going to go ahead and try to hit anyways. Fallon will try to break any potential tower shields. Let's see if she gets a heal. She is going to throw out a heal right here, and so that'll keep her up a little bit more. Now we're going to start putting the Nova on top, not only does the weakness help prevent these ice players from being able to utilize their balance blades, but it'll also add another it'll add a yet another it'll basically block the attempt from the other side from being able to cleanse that life dispel off of Tasha there. But unfortunately, maybe, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly happens, but that also provokes a potential for a Sprightly to remove that. So, anyways, here comes a cleanse right there from, I think, oh yeah, Cassandra's cleansing herself. She's down to 2 conviction counts. Jessica's down to the last conviction count, so we can stun her at some point if I hit. But the thing is, playing against 3 ice players, there's always a potential for that dispel to land on me. So anyways, it looks like this isn't your ordinary, as you can see from the amount of cleanses, they've actually picked up something from TPC. They're carrying more cleanses on more than just one player here. So again, Jessica Winter Blossom, I think, or Winterbreeze, has met us a few times, and now it looks like they're carrying cleanses as blade stackers. So that gets rid of spells, that gets rid of weaknesses, and now they're pumping in a lot of damage over to us with this ice bubble and blades and whatnot. They'll allow for Tasha to be able to throw an area heal of some sort if she wishes. So, you know, nothing's more deadlier than a blade stacking team being able to cleanse themselves even further. So, you know, they've kind of picked up on that, finally taking use of those plants instead of relying on just blades all in their treasure decks. Now they're actually carrying cleanses. So, you know, kudos to them definitely for changing their style. Again, you know, no one team is entirely invincible. You do have to play around. You do have to change up your styles a bit if you want to be able to counter as many teams as possible. So anyways, they managed to get 1 Snow Angel through. The others are weakened, at least. They don't have as many blades, but it will hurt a lot if they start hitting. So here comes the Frost Giant. Gonna try to stun Fallon here, or at least deal any damage, try to take her out. Not only will it add stun shields to Fallon, but it'll push her closer to the edge. The rest of us, except me, become stunned, even though I have the conviction up. So it seems that it's independent. Conviction is not everyone has the same chances. It's really like rolling a die. And I guess I got a low number, so I got stunned at that point. I hope I didn't play a very, very important card of some sort. But if I did, they've definitely stunted that for now. So anyways, here comes a cleanse from Ronan on top of Cassandra, I believe. No, on top of himself, to try to remove maybe potential weaknesses of some sort. Cassandra has to play through the infection. Okay. So anyways, I do have to heal myself. Since the other side is very familiar with the way we play, there's a potential I may get dispelled by self. So, gonna try to heal us up, because they're gonna go for huge hits. Another blade to the last player there. Jessica attempting to hit, but fizzling right there, so that would have hurt a lot. Even more blades being transferred to the last player, so here's another strong hit, attempting to knock us out, and a critical, but luckily the critical rate is low. Fallon does not have a conviction, but manages to block it, so that's okay, A-okay for the rest of us that do. Except for Cassandra here, as you can see, she's going to take a huge hit to the face without a conviction, so she has less block than the rest of us do, and she's going to be stunned at this point. Anyways, Ronan did cleanse me for any potential life dispels or infections on top of me, but they didn't play any of that, so Ronan's going to be able to lose we're able to throw off our ice ticks right here. And you know, it's unfortunate that Jessica was not able to strike. If she had, she would have tossed out her pips. It wouldn't have hurt us as much. But that fizzle, though unfortunate at the time for her, is definitely a sign of luck and you know, just good fortune. Because if she did throw out her pips right there, she might have knocked out Ronan. But since all of them hit or bladed each other, they didn't dispel me at all. So I was able to get off my rebirth, allowing Cassandra live, keep her pips. But she has lost her stun shield. So let's see what the other players do. Nope, they're gonna start going straight for attacks, it seems, with Blizzard and potential Frost Giant to stun Cassandra once more. No, but no Frost Giant at this point, so they're going for pure damage. Since Blizzard at the time did a little bit more damage potentially than Frost Giant per pip. So, you know, why throw out all 7 pips? Just, I mean, I guess the last player could. No, the last player can't even stun. So that's kind of a interesting move. Maybe she couldn't pull the Frost Giant, but they definitely needed that. So anyways, the rest of us may be throwing cleanses on top of Cassandra at this point to make sure she isn't getting life dispelled by Tasha over there. Yep, there's the life dispel. Let's see if we manage to do a double cleanse of any sort. Nope, no double cleanse. So Cassandra's gonna have to play into that, but that's okay. We do have a second. We do have me acting as a secondary healer, so you know, taking advantage of the ice resist right there. I'm like a life battery in a way. So anyways, Cassandra did lose out on her pips. Couldn't find cleanses of any sort, but Ronan is down to his last conviction point, and he's going to try to keep Cassandra up individually. We don't need to rely on just me being the only healer. Ronan does have, I believe, a life amulet on himself, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of hard to tell with these snowmen disguises. Anyways, as I said earlier, she didn't throw out her Frost Giant, so then she could Blizzard twice, which is much more damage for nearly about the same amount of pips as the Frost Giant. I mean, 8 pips to do about 800 damage base, opposed to a Frost Giant doing about 500 to 600 base for a 7 pips. So anyway, it's a critical Satyr is going to keep Cassandra in there, so just going to protect herself a little bit more from any barrage attacks. So the other side, they're losing out on their pips right now. Fallon is nearly dead at this point, so we're going to try everything we can to keep her pips and herself up. Seeing if Cassandra has a single heal. No, she only has a unicorn. That's as best as possible. Going to have Ronan to beguile the last player to ensure he can't hit the next round, I believe. Let's see if he can actually hit this round. No, he can't hit. Unless he does play a Blizzard. But that's okay. Let's see what this other side's going to do. Life player gonna have to hit. So she's throwing out her pips at this point. She's believing that, oh, we need to just try to end this as soon as possible. We don't want TPC getting ahead of us in any... I mean, even though we're going second, she is already tossing out all her pips. She doesn't find our team a threat at this point. So no need to conserve pips for healing. Just try to knock them out as fast as possible in case one of our ice players does miss and is not able to take out Fallon. So let's see what the last player does. But since he's beguiled, and I believe that this team didn't understand beguile on their own, because I think he refused to hit at some point as well. Yeah, even more blades. So, you know, not too surprising. They're trying to out-hit us, but now he's beguiled. So if he wants to hit, he's not going to be able to touch Fallon at this point. So at this stage, now that he's beguiled, he cannot, if he uses an area attack this turn or next turn, he's going to hurt his allies. Actually, no. If this turn he uses an AoE, he's gonna hurt his allies, if anything. So anyway, the wand kick's gonna keep, basically take out that sprite that I had sent to Fallon. Let's see if I'm able to place up another one. Here comes the life dispel on top of me, knowing that I'm a healer. But here we go. Here's a Ronan's gonna try to heal himself. Let's see what Cassandra does. Gonna get rid of that plague. Let me see what I do at this point. That means if I threw any heals to Fallon, it's not gonna help apparently. And yeah, they do stop the potential dispel and or a satyr from me. I wasn't exactly looking at my cards from the last round, but as you can see, Christopher could hit this round. He didn't understand that that he could hit. So again, like I said, this team not understanding how the beguile works just yet. Anyways, they're trying to affect my heals apparently, and Tasha's getting ready to try to hit us, knock us out, but we're gonna get rid of all those blades on top of Chris with that earthquake. Meanwhile, as you saw, what nice play by Sydney right there, donating to her ally Tasha to try to allow her to hit next turn. So kind of a TPC-ish move. You know, the ice player donating to the to another player so they can speed up their chances of hitting the following round. So now all of us are susceptible to stuns. Fallon's not able to keep her pips apparently. The other side's free to hit at any point. So we're going to try to stay cool about this, and I'm going to just try to stun the other side. I think I counted Tasha's conviction points. So let's see. Jessica was trying to hit just now. Even more blades to the last player, as you can see. So it's gonna stun me. I think he'll stun all of us actually. Yeah, he'll end up stunning all of us. So huge hit. Again with this ice bubble up. So, and I'm pretty sure they carry a lot more bubbles somewhere in their main deck. So trying to get rid of it is going to be a challenge against 3 ice players, let alone a life player that does carry, you know, potential treasure ice blades, treasure triple blades, elementals, and maybe even more ice bubbles somewhere. But counted the turns right. Tasha did not throw out, did not replace her conviction. They didn't play any stun shields on each other, so that allowed some breathing room for Cassandra to perhaps heal. We're trying to see if Ronan can pull a cleanse. He can. So again, TPC just trying to playing. I mean, just rolling how we do normally at the PvP parties when we're under a lot of stress. As you can see here, especially with the second turn disadvantage plus the blade stacking. Which doesn't seem to be a problem nowadays. I mean, nowadays it's really about Tempest spamming, but, you know, there'll eventually be a counter for that too. Still working on it. So anyways, ended up dispelling Jessica here because she did have the most pips, did not want her to hit, or blade, or shield anyone. So she'll have to throw out this turn to play a utility of some sort to get rid of it. And even more blades placed than the last player. So the first 2 are basically hitters that'll break off the ice shields and then allow the last ice player to basically blow through with all those blades up. So now we need the earthquake soon, and I'm gonna get rid of its infection, try to keep Fallon up as best as possible. And you know, it's crazy. I mean, if we get hit by 4 attacks, they will take out Fallon. They may take out Cassandra. Not sure if Ronan and I might survive, but we won't be okay. So we're trying our best here from trying to play from second, allow basically play smoke screens to ensure that the other side cannot combo. I mean, if 4 hits drop down on top of us simultaneously, we may not be able to counter. We may not be able to come back from that. So we need to be able to get some breathing room by smoking them as much as possible at this point. Because if they're just going to toss out blades and focus on, a hit of some sort, then we need to prevent that as best as possible. So trying to build up pips slowly for a potential earthquake. Cassandra's got to play a rank 0. Got to smoke them once again because they can play potential life dispels, and we don't want them being able to stop that. So apparently it looks like Tasha was trying to play an earthquake or perhaps a stun to stop Fallon at this point. But most likely an earthquake to get rid of the stun shield and to get rid of our ice shields, allowing her ice teammates to not only stop us but slam as much damage into us as possible. So now we're just blocking off all the any potential cleanses over to Christopher now that he's dispelled. So he's going to have to play an ice card to remove it himself, and but instead Cassandra is now going to earthquake, because if they do play any he is going to try to remove it this turn. This is our chance to rip those blades, all of those blades down. I mean, as you can see, there were about like 4 stacked right there. Ronan's going to donate to Cassandra. Really nice move right there, so she's able to react next turn if she needs to do an elucidated heal or a regular heal of some sort. So we're going to get rid of those smoke screens, but we don't want them hitting us hard, and get rid of those stun shields. But it's better than getting hit with that many blades, so we've basically delayed the other team from striking us so hard, and now they're vulnerable to being stunned. And in case they were trying to risk a hit and triple cleanse for the last ice player, who may have had a bigger chance of hitting us and knocking us out in one turn, I instead tried to play a heal just in case I happened to be the last man standing. So it's a lot of anticipated plays right here. As you can see, we're already nearing the end of the first hour as our transformations start to wither out, and I'm going to try to keep my pips up. So if they hit us they can hit us all they want, but I'm going to be able to heal if anything. So Cassandra's going to try to cleanse me, because who knows what the other side will do now. Potentially they will knock out Fallon, and we don't want that. So here comes hardcore Blizzard right here, going to get rid of the shield. Maybe they're going to play a Frost Giant to try to stun Fallon, or let her move next turn, and then to give the illusion that she can hit, and instead they're going to stun her next round, which will prevent her from using those pips and damage her even further. So anyways, they're playing their defensive bubbles, as you can see. Winterbreeze playing a nice stun shield for herself. Last player trying to shield Tasha, but Pierce Train does remove that. So we're going to replace those smokes, making sure that they cannot hit us as 4 players, as 4 attacks at a time. That's going to definitely be dangerous for Fallon in any case, but she does have a life shield up. We don't want Cassandra going down too quickly, and Ronan's got to reshuffle at this point himself. So it's about 47 minutes through. He's tossing cards left and right, making sure he's got the right plays each and every time. And so far, we're doing a nice job being able to stand up this long against the triple ice life team. With a bunch of blades all over the place. So anyways, we do manage to get Fallon's attack out, but it's weakened by the plague. It's going to get rid of 1 stun shield right there. Going to hit Tasha. Not that hard, but it's okay. So anyways, it turns out that the chat bubbles are interfering as well with selection. So had to turn that off myself. And also try to block out the public chat, because it's starting to get a little starting to bicker a lot in the public chat. So we're just going to close that out and try to concentrate on this game and play it out. So again, another smoke screen to make sure that, you know, hey, if they want to combo and hit us all at the same time, they're going to have to risk, well, they don't really have to risk much other than losing on one turn of trying to kill us with quad hits. So anyways, I'm going to try to throw up a heal because at this point, they're probably going to try to cleanse the last player of his smoke screen. So if he hits hard, he's going to kill Fallon. So I need to place up yet another rebirth and take advantage of my empowerment bubble. So there's the cleanse to get rid of the smoke screen. Let's see what the life player does. Life player will earthquake to get rid of our shields. So there goes the absorbs, there goes the stun shield. Let's see if the last player throws up a frost shine. If he does, he will stun me. You know, if he's successful, he will hit very, very hard. Fallon will go down, and he's going to stun the, I mean, that earthquake getting through will stun the rest of us. And that's that lucky sprightly right there moves the smoke screen debuff on top of him. So let's see what happens. Oh, another one comes up. So let's see what he does at this point. Now that earthquake is shut out, he most likely will be hitting. So they're self-sustained by their sprightlies. Let's see what he does. No, he passes. So cleanse going over to me, I believe. Oh no, it disarmed to get rid of any blades that are on top of. So Fallon doing a nice job preventing us from taking yet another extra 40% of damage, whether it was an ice blade or a treasure. Or actually not a treasure, but an amulet blade. We definitely got rid of something there. And as you can see, my empowerment bubble basically let me get kind of a free, kind of in a simplified rebirth in a way. It only required 6 pits from me. And our order is just a little bit awkward here. I mean, Fallon is used to going first most of the time, but it's detrimental. Anyways, they're replacing, I'm not sure if we put up the storm bubble. I don't remember seeing that, but if we did, she would have replaced that with ice, or she's putting up a stronger ice bubble. Maybe instead, at first it was a 35, now they're switching it to 45. So here comes the stuns. That's going to give me yet another pip, but we're all immobilized. Except for Ronan, who did have the conviction up. So good for him, protecting himself from any surprises there. The rest of us could have followed suit. Let's see. So anyways, just recently I managed to hit 500 subscribers. So hooray for that. I mean, you know, thanks a lot, guys, for checking the videos out, for kind of staying interested in TPC, or at least any of my guide videos and my my vlogs, audio logs, etc. Really appreciate it. Seeing how YouTube has gone a far way. You know, before I even got involved with most of the community, it was all about YouTube. Starting out with my sacrifice minion video, basically showing visually how, you know, how orders of shields, when you for example, if you place a dual shield over an absorb, or place an absorb over a dual shield, how that affects the values and whatnot. And through that, it was just all about helping people, and now it's expanded just to TPC, where we're all about helping players feel encouraged and kind of inspire them to keep playing no matter what challenges present themselves. So anyways, we're going to try a triple heal combo here. We know that if they try to strike any of us, that the rest of us will be able to keep one another up with a triple potential heal. Just because we're so low on health at this point, that a triple hit from the other side will take us down, but not all of us necessarily. You know, unless a critical breaks through from all of them. So anyways, more sprightlies for the first team. We're surprised. We're just thinking, oh, what happened in the flux of the sprightlies here? Give us some too. But yeah, we don't have that kind of luck in this game. But anyways, here's the infection. Fallon playing a nice cleanse, but let's see if she manages to stay alive for that. No, here comes the Forest Lord. So that definitely will take out Fallon with a single blade, perhaps a gargantuan in the Forest Lord, plus those 2 ice ticks are that are hitting Fallon very, very hard. So yes, she will go down, lose her stun shields. Let's see if Ronan may go down himself. Let's see if Cassandra's able to withstand, 2 more ice ticks. Plus, and we haven't even seen the last player hit just yet. If he throws out a blizzard, it could mean the end for Ronan and Cass. And who knows? Let's see what happens here. Even more Sprightly's going to the first team, so kind of unfortunate there, and us not being able to be sustained by our own pets at this point. But the other side, being the aggressors, being able to take advantage of that. But no, here comes finally a Sprightly that will remove that infection from Cassandra. So if the last player does not hit, she may have a chance to throw out her rebirth as well. Let's see what he does. No, he's gonna once again play another infection in case any of us tried to cleanse Cassandra. For example, Fallon doing that. That Sprightly is gonna keep Cassandra in there by just a hair. She will have to heal through that infection, but we were kind of expecting it anyway. Maybe expecting more of a entangle to be played. But anyways, I do manage to get my heal off as well. So keeping absorbs up, keeping it stacked, and keeping the rest of us full health, nearly full health with and save Ronan and Fallon's pips. So the other side, Sydney's lost her pips. Jessica's trying to build hers. Tasha doesn't have enough yet for an area heal unless it's a unicorn, but she doesn't really have to, considering with all those Sprightly ticks around her allies. So anyways, I remember I was saying, I hope they knocked out Cassandra, because though she would lose out on her stun shields, she will get rid of those 2 ice ticks that were hitting very, very hard. So anyways, here's the weakness on top of Fallon. So I think they may stack it with even more weaknesses from perhaps the regular balance school and not a treasure, as he just used, or the amulet, weakness amulet. So anyways, I'm not gonna take advantage of my blade. Gonna go ahead and try to build up my pips as fast as possible, knowing that if the other side does hit, my team may be relying on me to heal once again. So again, it's all about pip control. It's all about anticipation and taking care of your teammates. Sure, you can hit to win, but if you can, usually the best defense is the greatest offense. That's kind of cliche, but it's inevitably true. So anyways, Cassandra's going to build up her pips even further. Fallon will go ahead and cleanse off that weakness on top of her, just in case they decide to place more, or a potential storm dispel at any point. So again, going second, we have to worry about those dispels. And here comes 1 blade for the last player. Let's see what they do. No, I'm gonna spread the blades around to let the ice players do their damage and take advantage of the ice bubble. So Fallon's going to get rid of her weakness. It may be replaced with another plague from somewhere, or another type of weakness. We'll just have to see. Cassandra's going to build up her pips, as I said, and I'm going to have to play the smoke screen to ensure the other side can't, has a lower chance of putting a Storm Dispel on top of Fallon, or a Life Dispel on top of Cassandra, or an Unbalance on top of Ronan. So, smoke screen unfortunately is ridded by Sydney's pet right there. So let's see what Fallon does. I think she's gonna try to strike twice. Yes, she's gonna try to strike twice, but Ronan ended up changing, not from a I'm not sure exactly what's communicated here, but I think might have told Ronan to not play that donate, and instead you try to prevent Tasha from being able to take out stun shields or anything of that sort. So we're going to have Fallon hit here as hard as she can. Here comes the earthquake, so that'll get rid of stun shields off of us. So let's see if the last player is going to hit us with a frost giant, which definitely will stop us. So another factor in this game is just that disadvantage of earthquake removing stun shields. Sure, it's helping us counter them, here and there, but at the same time, going second versus so many, with a lot of disadvantages, just playing against the removal of stun shields, it really put you at a major disadvantage. So I'm really glad for the changes that they've made over time in the near past by putting the stun shield on a kind of like a scale, system where it depends on how many PvP opponents you have. In basically, the number of PvP opponents you have will determine how many stun shields you get if you get stunned. So anyways, again, the smoke screen trying to give us some breathing room. So now we need maybe Fallon to throw out a earthquake of her own or hit. I mean, none of them have storm shields at this point, and Jessica and Tasha can be stunned. So we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna build up my pits once again. I think Cassandra's healing because I'm at a weak state right here. Pierce Train's gonna rip off a fire shield, so unfortunately Storm isn't in front. Now they're shuffling. 2 reshuffles, so that puts us in a major disadvantage, having only Ronan reshuffled so far. But with now that they've reshuffled, they've gotten all their weaknesses, heals, blades, shields, convictions, ice bubbles, you name it. Stun shields, all of those cards back in their deck. So, infections, dispels. So that's definitely going to run us into the ground even harder, knowing that two of their players have been refreshed in a way. But we managed to actually stun. Actually, no, we didn't stun. Oh, yes, actually, Fallon used her pips. My bad. I was looking at Christopher's and Sydney's stun shields and realized, oh wait, never mind. They did have that last time. So, anyways, we're gonna try to have Ronan. See if Ronan has a potential judge for Tasha. Try to knock her out as best as possible. Before the other players react and try to stop us, and heal her back up, knowing that their pips are low. But he didn't have that just yet. So, anyways, even more blades for the last player. So they're still sticking to that one strategy, but they've learned to cleanse, they've learned to donate, etc., to try to build some momentum for their side. But still, those blades are just it's kind of irksome in a way. So, anyways, now that the light player was stunned as well, it was basically a free turn for Cassandra to move. And now I'm gonna try to suppress Jessica's hit. Christopher has a major hit, and let's see if Fallon's able to get her earthquake out in time. Try to remove those blades, but as you can see, Sydney did carry her cleanse this time, so it'll possibly allow Jessica to hit hard, and if she does, she will stun Cassandra, Fallon, and me, if anything. But no, she ends up stealing from Fallon there. So another TPC-esque move, having fought us before, where Fallon was not stealing blades but disarming. And I actually did play a steel charm at some point in one of our games previously, or maybe it's this game where we played a steal and then another steal and yet another steal. So, anyways, Fallon gonna go ahead and get rid of that attempted steal right there. It will open Tasha up to allow her myth attacks to go through, such as Earthquake or a potential Blinding Light or any other attack that's of myth. That's okay. We don't want them hitting us hard in just one turn. And Ronan's just gonna put up a bladed Nova right here. He criticals. Let's see. No, it's gonna be blocked by a lot of players except for Tasha. So she's hanging in there right now on the other side. I mean, if we can stun them, it's in a way game over for them. But unfortunately, we won't have that capability unless Cassandra did carry a Blinding Light. Let's see what she did here. If she did, it would allow for Ronan and me to strike as hard, maybe Fallon's Tempest, and we could have ended the game at this point. Um, not only had we had the a blinding light from Cassandra, but basically a follow-up stun of any sort. But I didn't have that, and it's okay if Cassandra didn't have that. Anyways, Fallon's gonna try to knock out Tasha with as best as possible. Ronan's gonna try to replace cards, but no, here comes the stun. So that'll prevent Fallon from being able to knock out Tasha, if anything. So Ronan's hit was very, very close to kind of sealing the deal right there. I mean, had I played a stun or had Cassandra played a stun, that would have been it for their team. They would have lost their life player. We would have be able to hurt them even more with Ronan's attack, whatever his 8 pips could be used into, could be invested in, and then my, you know, Cassandra could have hit or suppressed heals, maybe a doom and gloom, and same for me. Well, actually, I empowered there, so I could have hit them. But anyways, they're susceptible to stuns at this point. So we're going to try to take advantage of that because Tasha is low on health at the same time. And I wanted Ronan to know, don't blade me, but save up for your attack because we need to combo this. But no, instead Cassandra's going to hit. So, not sure what's going on exactly. I think there's some miscommunication on my end between me and Cassandra. But anyways, here comes the weakness on top of Ronan. Kind of an interesting move there. Fallon doing a nice job getting rid of the tower shield, so that'll allow for full damage to go through. I should have used my Frost Giant here. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think I was actually thinking at this point. Playing very cautiously and defensively, which I shouldn't have done. I could have stopped the 3 ice players from hitting us hard by stunning them and potentially put some damage into Tasha taking use of this ice bubble, but instead I kind of hesitated there. I guess I didn't want to throw out all my pips in case I did need to heal because Christopher, does have enough pips and he's already got a blade on top of himself plus the ice bubble up. So that's really going to be some major damage, but I could have just stunned him either way and he wouldn't have been able to move regardless if his allies cleansed or not. And had I stunned them that last round. So again, this is my mistake. Had I stunned them that last round, would have allowed for Fallon to hit through. Maybe Tasha would have played a unicorn, and that's all she could play. But a bladed Tempest right there may have been able to be enough to knock her out. But here comes the cleanse from Jessica over to Christopher, so he's going to be able to strike hard. Here are the shields anyway, so even if Fallon hits, wouldn't have gotten Tasha, so good thinking on her part. Let's see. See what Ronan does here. Hopefully it's maybe a sandstorm or something. No, he's gonna cleanse just in case they did ice dispel me. Didn't want that happening, so I was gonna end up throwing out a stun. So yeah, another factor again for playing pretty defensive is the potential of getting ice dispelled or melted by any of these ice players here. I mean, you have 3 up against 1. What are the chances basically? So anyways, managed to get 1, 2, 3. What a lucky stun there. 4, but unfortunately Fallon had already hit. But it's okay. So anyways, we're trying to press as much damage into them now. All of them stunned. Cassandra not having a frog of any sort. Now we're going to try to suppress heals from all over, hoping that hoping our teammates do not miss. And if so, that's yet another unlucky factor here. So Fallon manages to get her Tempest out. It criticals, hoping they would critical on Tasha because she does have a low block factor, but no, she does have that conviction up, so that'll keep her up. Now, if Ronan hits, that may seal a deal. He is weakened. He also gets a critical, but it's blocked there, not blocked there, blocked by Tasha, who had that conviction up, but she still goes down anyway, and managed to suppress their attacks at this point. Now, these ice players will have to rely on survival and no longer about blade stacking to try to win in just one hit. Even though Christopher does have an intimidating amount of blades, unfortunately Cassandra did not have enough pips yet to throw a Force Lord or a potential Earthquake. So anyways, knowing that Jessica does have the majority of, or at least has the life amulet, we're going to try to suppress her heals, but knowing Sydney, by now, she may have a potential cleanse, but no, here comes shields to make sure that Fallon cannot throw out Tempest from all over. And not sure what she was trying to do just now. Probably throw a sprite of some sort. I don't know why she just didn't play any other card, but I guess she was trying to aim in case the sprightly did go off after that dual shield play from Sydney. Because Jessica was trying to heal Tasha by any chance. But anyways, a great satyr from Chris right there. So he's throwing out pips at least, but now he can't hit as well. And that leprechaun was meant to block out any potential sprites from the other players. So anyways, Fallon is gonna try to build up her pips. Ronan's gonna try to cleanse me, and I'm gonna try to suppress and actually throw out as many attacks as possible. So I'm gonna throw out a bladed snow angel. It seems, yeah, bladed blubbled snow angel with a gargantuan on top. So let's see what they're doing here. She may play a unicorn. They're playing as many support spells as possible. A few heals here and there. No ice spells on me, luckily, but suppressing heals even further. Now I've got my snow angel out, putting a lot of pressure on the other team. So that's going to get through, that's going to get through, that's going to break that tower, and possibly allow for Fallon to hit pretty soon as well. None of these guys are worried about storm shielding at any point just yet, especially for their life player. But if they do throw storm shields, they may protect her from a potential Tempest kill. But anyways, that gargantuan Snow Angel tick will try to get to her, so we're going to have Fallon maybe throw a Tempest. She's not able to find one. Cassandra's going to try to prevent Ronan from being stunned next turn or so. And here comes the cleanse again from Sydney, so once again carrying more cleanses than just blades alone, being able to support teammates. So you know, they've definitely learned something here from having played against this a couple of times here and there. Let's see. So that unicorn with the guiding light definitely kept Tasha up a little bit further. Gonna keep those ice players in the loop, and now we're trying to suppress heals from all over and ensure that hey, if now Fallon can hit. She hits hard. She will be able to stun Tasha. Might be able to take out Christopher. And we're hoping, hey, hopefully they don't have any storm dispels. I mean, that's with Fallon being in front, that's as best as we can do. But instead, they're going to try to... That's an interesting play. They're going to play the Frost Giant to maybe put in some damage on top of Fallon. Not sure what that was all about. I don't think anyone was unprotected other than Ronan, I suppose, having only one stun shield. If the other ice player plays another stun shield, I'm not sure what they'll be stopping, because Ronan's not able to do anything at this point with so few pips. So if they try to do a Frost Giant of some sort, you know, it'll stop Ronan, but he doesn't really need to play anything at this point. Perhaps maybe an Empower to make sure he can react faster. And there's the other Frost Giant. So looks like they're going for massive damage, trying to hurt Fallon as best as possible. So then, instead of TPC going offensive, we have to stay defensive, making sure that our Storm player is staying up and alive as best as possible. So we're about an hour and 40 minutes through the game, so that's about halfway through the match. And I'm out of water apparently. So anyways, we're at this point. Let's see, he's going to try to say to himself, so much for the Stormlord here. It looks like they're protected, well protected, except for the other players, it seems. A lot of criticals here, but getting blocked from all over. Good shield play on top of Tasha there, and unfortunately will not be able to take out Chris. But at least they're not hitting us as hard anymore, so now we've got a lot of pressure on them. But again, playing from second is just, I mean, you have to consider a lot of risks, especially with a potential melt and then a plague to block off any potential cleanses. So tough to exactly see what's going on our end, whereas the other side, they're able to, you know, foresee and forecast what's going to happen next. So anyways, Fallon's doing her best to suppress. Let's see if Cassandra's able to hit. We're going to see if Fallon can play a cleanse for Cassandra, but no, unfortunately. So now we're going to have our life player hit, because who knows if these players carry any life shields for their allies. So anyways, that Snow Angel ends up taking out the second player there, so they're getting very, very shaky on the other end. Not a lot of control per se, but those are playing very supportively, apparently. Let's see what Chris does here. I think fearing a life dispel on top of Cassandra from him, which will suppress, but no, he's going to try to get rid of the spell. So now Fallon not able to take out the storm shields, any potential storm shields. Here comes a bladed frost or forest lord. So that'll definitely take out the first player and lead just the last two of them. Now I think some mistake also happened on our end, where we weren't able to suppress their heals as quickly or as best as possible. Anyways, life player is just far from her rebirth, so we're gonna try our best to just try to keep him down. I'm gonna prevent myself from being earthquake and then stunned by this combo. So Fallon now gonna try to suppress heals as best as possible. We don't want Tasha throwing out a rebirth. She may play a unicorn. Maybe she'll try to play it twice. Yep, here's the unicorn. So none of us had an AoE to throw out just randomly to try to take out any potential revives. And let's see what Chris here plays. He may be throwing out fairies or sprites to his teammates, or shields to the life player, and ensure she can keep on doing what she's doing. So there's a shield right there. Now try to suppress that heal, which may be cleansed off. We'll have to see. Ronan's going to try to build up pips, I believe. No. He's going to end up trying to keep Fallon, making sure she's alive. And I think at this point, we did not need that just yet. So anyways, but blocking off potential cleanses, and then also blocking, yeah, again, totally blocking off potential cleanses for yet another unicorn. Hoping that Fallon has a Tempest somewhere, but, oh, actually, none of us are susceptible to stuns either at this point. So another great play. Ronan's going to try to empower so he can build up pips. So Fallon's going to go for the hit here anyways. So let's see what goes on. See if the ice player manages to protect his ally. No, he's going to reshuffle. So throw out his pips to ensure the light player can heal and blade once again if she threw out any treasures in an emergency. And Tempest not gargantuan, unfortunately, so You know, Fallon's not going to be doing as much damage as she'd like. Plus the... Oh, no, there weren't any absorbs. There were some storm shields, though, so that kept them in, for sure. Ronan's going to empower, try to build up his pip so he's ready to strike it hard again as well. Let's see what Cassandra does. Let's see. So I'm going to try to prevent him from hitting, but apparently he ended up reshuffling. So now we need to suppress heals from all over. Tasha needs to... now we're going to try to have Ronan knock out those players once again. So trying our best to keep them in the corner right here. So smoke screen to block off any potential cleanses once again. Ronan will get a bladed, or not a bladed, but he will knock out those two ice players. Oh, just one. Okay. And prevent these heals from coming all over. So, again, like I said in the last video, it's all about kind of playing chess with this and try to put them in the corner. Put your opponents in the corner as best as possible. Let's see what the other side does now. They're going to try to infect. Probably save it for cleanses, and now potentially try to shield up anyone. Fallon does a nice job taking out Jessica right there, so that'll take out the stun shields and take out any potential stun shields. So anyways, here comes my Blizzard, and I'm hoping that that this does not remove that entangle there. I'm not sure why I chose to hit at this point, and unfortunately that breaks off. So yet another factor, you know, just kind of just a little bit of luck for Tasha right there, being able to have her sprightly remove that entangle. So that was kind of my bad. Probably should have waited on my end, but wasn't sure if that ice player would have healed herself with a satyr of some sort. So anyways, now we're doing our best to try to suppress heals once again. So now that'll keep... I mean, unfortunately, that could have that entangle, had it not gone off, would have prevented Tasha from healing herself even further. It would have forced Christopher to throw out satyr, continually throw out satyrs. Meaning, as you can see, even though the other side were blade stackers, they're not hitting us as much as possible now because they're so worried about trying to stay alive, etc. So, kind of trying to play counterproductively from our end. All those smoke screens definitely helped, and here comes the reshuffle, and I'm going to put up my conviction in case we get earthquaked and stunned. So anyways, assuming that Tasha will throw out an area heal, we're going to have we're going to try to hit. I mean, if she decides to throw out heals, area heals, we're going to have the rest of us hitting, but I guess she was waiting for that, but or maybe couldn't find a rebirth at this point. So luckily Fallon did fizzle there. That's okay. So we know that Jessica can place even more shields on top of Tasha. Hoping Cassandra has maybe has an earthquake somewhere. Ronan's gonna reshuffle himself. We're talking about cards right now, trying to find out who has what. And it looks like Tasha will throw out a rebirth. No, not yet. Gonna try to increase her heal even further. That's very interesting. So had Cassandra had an earthquake, that would have been interesting for the other side, unfortunately. So Sprightly will get rid of that guiding light, but now she has a increased passive heal, and we really don't want that on life players. So now we're shuffling for all over, trying to build up our cards once again. I think Ronan canceled out on a few reshuffles there. He's going to reshuffle himself. I'm going to reshuffle myself. And we're counting their cards as well, knowing that Sydney had not reshuffled yet. Chris already reshuffled, and Jessica had already had a reshuffle for someone else. Same with Tasha, so only Sydney was low on cards right now, and she was down and out, not generating pips. So that was to our advantage. Here comes the rebirth. Huge heals. That's interesting, considering that Fallon and the rest of our team has pips. If we all struck, would have definitely taken them out. But instead, Fallon's going to try to blade up and ensure for a stronger hit. So anyways, Earthquake's going to get rid of any potential storm shields or get rid of those stun shields and those blades right there. As you can see, so many of those treasures being removed. So great play by Cassandra once again. So the other side is now vulnerable to either a stun from me or a stun from Fallon. So anyways, going to play a cleanse, get rid of the infection for Cassandra in case we need to heal right away. And the other side cannot... I mean, they could stun if Tasha throws out the Earthquake and Christopher plays a Frost Giant to try to stop a lot of us. But here we go with a team combo. One blade for this last player. Let's see if he's going to end up using his pips. Here comes a potential sprite for Tasha, which she misses on. And here comes the... Tasha starts using her sprightly from her pet. So the card is about 0 pips to throw a sprite out. So she's using the sprightlies that were stopped by the entangles from earlier. It's kind of a bug that was fixed recently, of late. But anyways, here comes the cleanse on top of me. We're going to have me stun instead, so we can get a gauge on what these players have in terms of protection. So now I'm going to toss out my Frost Giant, stun them, stop them, put up stun shields, and then have Fallon hit with a bladed attack to take them out. And potentially even have Cassandra hit as well if she can find one. Or just suppress heals altogether. So we have, TPC at this point has a really, really high momentum in terms of advantage and control. Those sprightlies on top of them should have waited before I hit, because the sprightlies will undo all that damage right there. So my pips in a way was kind of wasted, but we didn't want those other players moving as much either. So anyways, they're all stunned. Let's hope Fallon hits. She'll be able to take out the first two again, take out their stun shields. Well, maybe, because they have a lot of sprightlies. Cassandra's going to try to suppress heals. Ronan's going to try to suppress heals. And I can't really do anything at this point. So let's see. Yeah, those 3 sprightly ticks, definitely put Jessica back in the game a bit there. Christopher's going to stay up for a long, long time. Look at all those sprightlies. 2, 3. He doesn't even need it. And Fallon does get her bladed Stormlord there. Yet another critical, unfortunately, blocks once again. But we do take out Sydney. Gonna take well, not yet take out, but critical blocks from all points here. Now they're gonna have heals suppressed from all over. Maybe should have played a Doom and Gloom and then Infection or Entangle to maybe force them not to rely on just cleanses itself, but also to remove the bubble. So trying to suppress heals from here and there, hoping that Jessica doesn't have any more cleanses, but who knows, maybe she will. So we're going to try to build up pips once again, try to keep this momentum. The other side has plenty of pips to do whatever they'd like to whatever they please. Now they're going to try to build up their momentum once again. So here comes the... Oh no, it's not a cleanse, but a satyr. So they're going to try to keep up the life player's health. So good play by Jessica right there. Um, and now this is a questionable play. Christopher going straight for the vengeance, and now he's going to try to rely on criticals, possibly for heals, but um, I mean he's the one with the most blades and whatnot, and he has his ice bubble up. So he's going to try to probably spam us with blizzards, try to deal as much damage in such a short amount of time as possible. So now he has full pips, he can do whatever he wants. Tasha could probably earthquake us and take out blades, stun shields, and have them stop us with huge attacks. But let's see what they do. So I'm fearing again none of my teammates having a cleanse from me. Kind of fearing, hey, if they play ice spells on me, then I need to watch out for that definitely. Anyways, last player we're gonna get rid of that entangle, as you can see, but now we're gonna put a smoke screen, try to break any combos they may throw at us, because whatever, I mean, if their attacks succeed in order and whatnot, we're gonna worry a lot. Now I'm wondering, okay, maybe I'll have Fallon wait before she strikes so she can get a full Stormlord in there and stun. So I'm gonna throw my Earthquake because Cassandra doesn't have any more, unfortunately. And here comes the fairy. 700 points. Back to Sydney. So gonna try to get rid of the stun shields, try to get rid of the storm shields, try to get rid of those blades, and I do succeed here. So even more of their cards being used up at this point, but if they play a triple blade on top of Chris and he hits and he manages a critical and it doesn't block, plus the bubble that's up, that's very dangerous for our team either way. So now Tasha may be playing that rebirth now that she has got her allies' pips rolling. She'll try to keep them. So now we're going to try to throw everything we have over to Tasha. Not expecting them to actually try to block off everything. So now they're learning. Now they're putting up their convictions and knowing, oh, we're susceptible to stun because of that earthquake. So changing their style. So now we're going to try to throw everything we can out at them. Try to suppress whatever we can. Two of them will resist stuns. And unfortunately it comes out as fire. If had Ronan thrown out maybe an ice or a storm hit, would have definitely been more beneficial. Cassandra's going to throw out her pips. This is about 2 hours into the game already, 2 hours and 15 minutes. So at this point we're thinking, alright, we need to start changing up our style. Maybe we need to be more aggressive because we've been so defensive lately. So trying to change up the style, see if that shakes the dirt a bit. So let's see. So they've lost Sydney once again. We're definitely going to see some heals being sent out. We need to start building pips on our side. Jessica's working as support. Let's see the rebirth coming out. Yep, here comes the rebirth from Tasha. Chris is, I think, dumping cards or some sort. He's probably looking for a reshuffle for Sydney, and then for himself as well. He hasn't been acting for a while, and then we're going to try to suppress maybe prevent a potential Forest Lord from coming out. But there may be an earthquake, there may be Sydney and Jessica may throw Christopher some blades, and he may strike us very hard. So we're gonna have Cassandra and Ronan put up their convictions as soon as possible, knowing that we don't have that myth dispel readily available. Tasha's gonna go ahead and get rid of the life dispel. So we're putting up as many ice shields as possible. Cassandra's going to try to block off any potential criticals or stuns. Fallon's going to have to... I mean, Fallon's just low on pips right now. Same with Cassandra, same with me. So now I'm just going to use whatever resource I can to get rid of the absorbs that were placed up. And Tasha doing a nice job right there, protecting her absorb with that ice shield and storm shield from Jessica. So that'll keep that absorb up even when both of us elementals hit. So first turn, gaining back their momentum slowly and almost luckily. I mean, I remember thinking about this game and looking back to that Sprightly that did get rid of the Entangle off of Sydney. I mean, off of Tasha. Had she not been able to say to herself, we would have been able to place yet another stun on top of her. I mean, another Entangle on top of her. And prevent her from healing herself so soon and force Christopher not to worry about blading or shielding, but healing his life player even more. So anyways, now that they've got one set of blades up and a bunch of storm shields, I need to start hitting with this earthquake as soon as possible. So even more blades, actually, yeah, even more blades it looks like. So we're gonna have Fallon wait on that. Ronan's got to reshuffle himself once again. He's got a heavy amount, and there unfortunately another factor, my earthquake failing at this point, which would have taken out those blades, taken out those shields, forced the other side to worry about being stunned or hit by a Stormlord of some sort. I mean, they're running out of cards as well. They're not shuffling as much, but now they're putting up as many shields as possible, trying to protect the life player. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my my attack off. And look, they're just putting shields now, transferring to a hybrid defense, knowing how well we've been managed to take out their life player. Now they're worried and know that, hey, we don't have convictions, we don't have stun shields. If they try to earthquake us, especially from Cassandra, then we're in big trouble here. So let's put as many shields on as possible. Kind of an interesting move. So I'm chancing at yet another earthquake here, hoping to take out all those shields and chance it once again, hoping Cassandra can put up that conviction one more time, but unfortunately no. One blade being placed over to Cassandra. So anyways, now they've realized, oh, we don't want to hold on to blades any longer. They're going to earthquake, TPC's going to try to earthquake them off. So let's go ahead and start hitting while we place the blades up in the same turn. So we'll try to get out as much damage as possible, try to take out that storm player, try to put as much damage into the balance player as well, and maybe take out those ice shields on top of the life player, Cassandra. So it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes into the real time of the game so far. Here comes the earthquake, unfortunately. So, yeah, Tasha having very little chance of missing, especially with the arena gear accuracy added on, plus any potential accuracy boosts from her pet. But anyways, down come the shields, so we're gonna get struck hard by that snow angel, and who knows what Chris will throw at us, but potentially maybe a stun over to Fallon. No, not a stun, but going for massive damage at this point. One blade, bubble, and a gargantuan snow angel, I believe. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So now they're trying to strike us down with all this heavy hardcore damage from all over. Try to take us down as soon as possible, but Slightly's will come to a little bit of Fallon's rescue here. She will be kept up. So unfortunately, couldn't remove those blades just yet, and couldn't remove that those shields for Fallon to strike on this turn, which would have been really helpful, which would have definitely kind of given our team a small advantage, or at least a small comeback. But no, she has to wait a few more turns because of my fizzles, or at least because of that one fizzle on the earthquake. And just the sight of our pips. I mean, especially Fallon's pips, unfortunately. She strikes hard, but, with lower pip percentage per se, she's not able to strike as fast. But it's okay. So, playing Life Dispel, making sure that, hey, they can't Life Dispel Cassandra back unless another player does it. They already have 3 attackers. If we can narrow it down to 2, and force, one of the ices to Life Dispel Cassandra, we may have a chance here. So here's another attempted triple heal, as you can see. They'll try to stun us now that our stun shields are down. I think that'll get Ronan, that'll get Cassandra, and that may not get me actually, because I have my conviction up, luckily. Let's see if it goes through. And it doesn't, so that'll stop Cassandra's heal, that'll stop Ronan's heal, but for me, I need a cleanse, or if I get Life Dispel, it's going to hurt a lot for our team. No, I wasn't, my heal wasn't manipulated, so as you can see, Fallon's actually being kept well maintained by her spritelys right there, so luckily those are coming up. Anyways, we still have 2 strong ice 6 on us, so yeah, Ronan's definitely going to go down, and Cassandra will go down too, but luckily I have the heal going up, so they've lost those 2 strong ice ticks right there on top of them, so it's kind of sloppy on the other team's part. But now we're staying in there. The other side strikes the hit or strike. It'll stop Cassandra and Ronan if they plan to stun, with some kind of combo. So now I'm trying to ensure that Tasha cannot throw another earthquake down, or throw out, some kind of myth attack of some sort. If not earthquake. So it's about 2.5 hours right now. Tasha's gonna go ahead and throw out her pips, try to hit us and knock us out, or knock as many of us as possible out. It's gonna put a dent to Fallon, gonna take off the absorbs that Ronan and Cassandra were given, and I think Chris will end up playing a Frost Giant if they want to stop Cassandra from healing us back up. So if you compare our pips to the other side, now we've got major momentum here, because we dominate in pip count on all levels. Let's see, here comes the Frost Giant. It's a nice play by Chris right there, following up with, ouch, a bladed, bubbled Frost Giant. So that'll definitely keep Cassandra down right there, keep me down. That gets through the conviction. So yet another factor for another disadvantage for TPC here, the Frost Giant managing to get through our conviction here. But we did have an attack, I think, earlier that managed to get a stun through the convictions on first turn side. So, it's just kind of returning the favor, I suppose. Let's see if Fallon managed to hit. No, she was stunned. So none of us are able to do anything at this point. If they all strike, then Cassandra may end up going down. If Fallon cannot throw out a heal, that's enough. And then I won't be able to toss out something myself. So if they play blizzards, they play entangles, infections, etc., further seals the deal on our end. So Fallon's gonna try to upkeep us her as best as possible. Hopefully she doesn't get knocked out. And as you can see, Ronan's gonna donate pips to me, so I'm ready to rebirth at any point or hit. And Cassandra, if she gets knocked out, we'll be okay. Let's see what Jessica does here. She's gonna try to blizzard, an attempt to try to knock out Cassandra. So that's gonna hit hard. Gonna knock out Ronan. No, it does not knock out Cassandra. So she will get to keep her stun shields. Definitely. But now we're thinking, okay, Tasha could play a potential life dispel on top of Cassandra here. So, wondering if Fallon had any extra cleanses of any sort. Nope, infection on top of me, so Ronan, let's see if Fallon's unicorn gets off, Ronan will be able to donate to me. But and here comes the infection on top of Cassandra, so yeah, unfortunately she didn't die. If she had died, it would have worked out actually for us, because she wouldn't have received that infection then. But she does, and anyways, Fallon's able to throw out a heal herself. Ronan's going to donate to me, so I'm able to heal as soon as possible. Got to heal through the infection there, but thanks to Fallon's unicorn, gave us some extra life back there. Let's see what happens on my end. And I'm going to prevent Tasha from being able to take out her stun shields. Knowing that Fallon will lose her conviction this round as well. So counting kind of 2 rounds ahead and keeping an eye on these, on our bubbles and whatnot. So anyways, Fallon's going to try to remove even more stun shields off the life player. So once again, getting into our kind of like a little groove. Conviction going up on top. Tasha again. Ronan's not going to be susceptible to any surprise plays, neither is Cassandra, so even if they do manage to cleanse Tasha and get rid of the earthquake, or allow her to earthquake or stun shields off, it's okay. We'll have Cassandra and Ronan protected from any potential stuns. I do end up removing the myth dispel, but that's okay. We wanted those stun shields gone as soon as possible. So the other side, they can throw out more Frost Giants, try to knock out Ronan at this point. We need to be able to throw out cleanses for Cassandra. We need to stun them. But Tasha's already got a new conviction bubble up, so fortunately, Sydney ends up reshuffling herself. And here's yet another reshuffle from Jessica on top of herself this time. So let's see if Christopher reshuffles himself. And if so, that's yet another factor against TPC in this match, that they've had their cards refreshed even faster than we do. But yep, even more blades coming back. So now that they've built up their health and momentum, they're not too worried about us. We're still trying to duke it out, trying to keep that offensive momentum up that was helping us so much earlier. I was keeping them down. So that earthquake came out. from me and allowed, and even this now Tasha is stunned through the conviction here, so kind of a little, a little revenge for their stuns getting through our convictions. And nice minor blessing, so Cassandra will be allowed to, in a way, heal, and I can strike, let's see, Ronan can strike, Cassandra can heal, or she can strike as well. We're seeing if Fallon has a Tempest of any sort, so we may have a triple hit here, but no, Fallon's out of cards, so Ronan's going to have to end up reshuffling Fallon. But yeah, in case anyone's wondering, Ronan's not the only one who carries reshuffles. It's just more efficient to use, 2 turns worth of pips to reshuffle teammates rather than the rest of us using up 4 turns worth of pips to reshuffle ourselves. But we individually do carry reshuffles all around. I think I have 2. I think I have about 3 actually. Fallon has about 2. Cassandra has about 2. Ronan probably has 3 or 4. So that's why he's doing it very often. It's just to kind of treat our entire team as like a battery that just recharges itself over and over. So anyways, they're getting rid of their spells. Ronan's gonna try to upkeep our health. Cassandra, yep. Cassandra replacing all of her lost cards, trying to look for convictions and whatnot. Ronan's just going to try to deal whatever damage he can. We're hoping for a Nova of some sort, or he was proposing that he could throw out Sandstorm and yet another Sandstorm, which would do much, much more damage, considering that Power Nova has yet to qualify for a Gargantuan being added onto it in this age, or at least in this day. You kind of have to go into a little bit of late May for that. So let's see. Anyways, it's about another 20 minutes from this point in the game's real time before we start hitting the end here. Anyways, they're going back. I mean, they've got their Snow Angels out. They're going back to putting on more blades on, the last player, and now they're gonna basically try to roll this game into an offensive front and try to end this as best as they can. So we're trying to keep up with their hits and try to force them in a way to rely on heals rather than hitting all the time. So, keeping that life player from not only using her Force Lord, but basically force her to play with Rebirth instead, or Unicorns, rather than hitting us along with her teammates. So at this point, we're trying to, I have suppressions for attacks. Cassandra's going to try to heal me right now, not only to help us recover from the Snow Angel take and any potential attacks, but to also let me take advantage of my empowerment bubble. So I'll get a pip right there. So I just got a pip from that Earthquake. I'll get rid of the blades that Ronan put up, I think. Yeah. They'll get rid of my infections at least, but our Sun Shields also go down, so we're susceptible to hits and stuns at this point. Here goes the Frost Giant after the Earthquake, so that's going to keep us in our place right there with a double-bladed Gargantuan bubbled Frost Giant. So yeah, that takes out Ronan at a huge hit. That's going to give me a pip, but it's going to stun the rest of us here. And there are just giant ice ticks on top of top of our allies. So, as you can see, Sydney over there blading herself up now, so she's ready. She's got her pips going. So they're kind of in a chain cycle, and by that I mean one player hits, the next turn another player should be able to hit, the next turn another player should be able to hit. So kind of keeping it in somewhat of a chain, try to put as much pressure on us, and not throw out 4 different cards all at the same time. So that's definitely something we'll have to consider, you know, that TPC will have to consider in the future and whatnot. Anyways, we are just, yeah, unfortunately, if all these players hit and whatnot, or they suppress our heals, they can do that. They can do just about that. So anyways, Cassandra's going to try to stay alive in there, but that ice may take her out. Fallon's going to do her best to try to tower and block off any potential. I mean, if Fallon's able to move at all and place that tower, it will try to prevent Cassandra from going down. But here comes another, you know, here comes the bladed Snow Angel. I mean, it's only one blade, but between 3 ice players, that's a lot of ticks to deal with. So anyways, that does take out Fallon, it looks like. So she's not able to protect Cassandra, and now we're stunned once again, or we're getting close to being stunned. Had they succeeded, it would have been technically a chain stun, because they had already stopped us at one point. But Chris didn't. So it's kind of waiting for that. Now Cassandra can be stunned next. Maybe Life Dispel and Jessica can hit next turn. Same with Sydney for any potential blizzards. So Fallon's going to try to, I mean, at this point we're thinking, oh, it might be too late. They may strike us. So Fallon's going to have to try to throw out an Earthquake. But here comes a potential Bladed Blizzard. No, she's going to blade herself even more. So even more rank 8, rank 7 attacks. But come on, Fallon, take those blades down. Unfortunately, a fizzle here. So another factor, unfortunately. So not able to, I mean, those misses on those Earthquakes costing us this game definitely. I mean, if we had taken out those blades, we definitely wouldn't have been subject to losing in just a few turns. And so you can sort of guess if the other side hits, how hard that's going to be. I mean, there's already 1, 2 blades, and Fallon's going to try once again. Gonna take out stun shields and try to get my frost giant through. Oh, here comes another blades. I mean, another set of blades, and so now we're gonna have potentially 2 hits right here. About I think 2 to 3 blades plus the bubble getting through the absorbs, smacking us down. Look at that, 1600 health even through the absorb. So that was about 2000 or so. Those were stacked absorbs just now. Still getting through. So, and the stun will definitely stop us there. So, yeah, just a lot of factors that went wrong in this game on our side. But at the same time, you know, not to discredit first turn, they also did a pretty nice job themselves in terms of attack control and at least style control. They did take advantage of their matches against us in the past to include, you know, cleanse and donate and all these other cards that weren't orthodox for them before. So it was kind of an interesting to play against and watch, knowing that Blade Sackers had picked up on a TPC-ish strategy. So anyways, now they can suppress heals. There's really no point in trying to rebirth. I'm gonna get hit hard from all over, with infections, blizzards. You know, it's basically end game right here, so no point in looking for yet another heal in my deck. So there's the infection. The other players are gonna they're definitely gonna save up. So now I need to throw out my pips. You know, I mean, again, just from the experience of the PvP parties, you really can't drag yourself out of this. So, you know,
overall, pretty epic match. I mean, it was a back and forth, and we had our chance to make a comeback and actually try to suppress the game, but due to a lot of fizzles, due to sprightlies popping out at the right times or the wrong times, and just a lot of different factors here. We held on for 3 hours against this type of team, but couldn't pull it off in the could have ended the game much sooner. Um, I think had those earthquakes actually gone off, taking out all those blades and not subject my three allies to hard hits like that and take them out so quickly. But yeah, that's just the gist of that kind of strategy on their end. From beginning game and mid game, they're struggling a lot because most of their focus was on blades and whatnot, and getting rid of weaknesses using those cleanses or dispels. But you know, when you reshuffle enough and get those blades all back, they can start replenishing their hits as hard as they want. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you enjoyed the commentary itself. Hopefully, you can use it to learn. Not necessarily from this match specifically, but just for future references. If you're trying to make decisions on what cards to play, depending on your situation going second. Hopefully it helps out. So, anyways, rate, subscribe, and comment on the video if you'd like to see some more. This is Battleblood signing out. I'll see you in the spiral. GG.